Hi everyone, welcome to ACLAMO. Today we will be giving you the mandatory tutor training to be able to volunteer with us.
So, ACLAMO Family Centers is a nonprofit organization, and we focus on providing educational programs, social services, and access to health and wellness programs to Latinos and other community members within Montgomery County. The after school program is one example of our educational endeavors. So, the after school program runs Monday through Thursday from 3 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. And 3 p.m. is when our teachers set up and they do different administrative work and ensure everything is ready in the classrooms. 3:30 is when our volunteers arrive and when most of the students start to arrive as well. So from 3:30 to 4:30, we serve cold supper for students, which includes things like yogurt, chicken nuggets, sandwiches, etc. And then after the students finish eating, around 4 p.m. until like 4:45 or so, that's a designated time that we have for students to complete their homework and read. And then after they finish those required things, they're able to enjoy different STEAM activities and clubs. And then at 5:40, our students start to leave, and that's typically when our volunteers also start to leave. And that dismissal time ends at 6. From 6 to 6:30, we have cleanup, administrative work, and our staff leaves. Our expectation is for our volunteers to sign in and out every day, and we have designated laptops for them to do this, just so that we're able to keep track of your hours and your attendance in case it helps you, but also just for our records as well. We expect you to be able to provide homework support to our students, whether that be small group or one-on-one. However, don't let a student monopolize your time and don't focus on one student the whole time. Please try to rotate your support so that all the students are able to get help with their homework. And lastly, don't do the homework for the students. We ask that our volunteers never leave the students unattended and that you simply support them through any STEAM activities, clubs, and homework in general. Please be a positive role model for our students in terms of your language, your overall behavior. Please have a positive attitude, don't use your phone, and don't chew gum. We encourage you to help us promote academic success for our students through their homework and doing their assignments, but also through the ACLAMO clubs and other enrichment activities. As a general rule, please limit your physical contact with our children. So don't hug them, don't touch them, anything like that. High fives and gentle fist bumps are okay as long as the students are initiating them. And again, just please remember to limit the contact as much as possible. If you ever have any doubt about this, please talk to our staff. Lastly, related to that, please don't ever go into a closet or a bathroom with any of the students, especially leaving the door behind you closed. If a child needs help in the bathroom, please let a staff member know. But we do ask that the volunteers take the students to the bathroom and wait outside for them. But if things are getting a little uncontrolled, just keep the door open and stand halfway in, halfway out of the bathroom to keep an eye on students, but not be in there with them with the door closed. So our general expectations are for students to only drink and eat in the classrooms when they're in their designated lunchtime. So we give them a specific meal that they have to eat. Aside from that, there should be no eating or drinking, and that goes for volunteers and students, especially when we have the computers out, just to make sure that there's no accidents. We ask that if students are disrupting each other or anything like that, that you please just ask them to stop, and if you need assistance, talk to their teacher. We do have different computers for students to complete their online homework assignments, and once students have finished their assignments on those, they can have a designated playtime. So we ask that our volunteers and staff members oversee the students' use of the computers, making sure it's appropriate and there's enough turn taking and stuff like that. If you see or hear students using inappropriate language, please remind them to be appropriate and to be respectful with each other. And there should also be no roughhousing or sitting on tables or desks. So if you see that happening, please kindly ask them to stop. And you yourself as a volunteer should also refrain from sitting on a desk or a table and instead just sitting in a chair. If students aren't doing their homework, please redirect them and remind them to stay on task with their homework. And if necessary, get help from their homeroom teacher to keep them on track. But if they don't have any homework assignments, students should be reading between 15 to 30 minutes, and we ask that our volunteers help guide them with that. If you have any activities you want to do with our students that don't have homework, you're more than welcome to do that. and you can bring ideas of different things to do with them, especially if they're STEAM related. That's really great. If students are trying to leave the room before finishing their homework, please ask them to stay and redirect them, do something else for a bit if it's a great way to keep them engaged. And again, if you need help with any of that, just talk to their teacher. Students should not be using their cell phone, so if you see one using it without permission, please let us know. And with that, please be a good example and don't use your cell phone. We do have a zero tolerance for any bullying or physical altercation, so please help us in ensuring that we have that type of environment. And if you ever have any issues or questions, talk to our building coordinator or any staff. So for our tutor guidelines, our tutors are very important for our student success because you come in and help us support them with their homework and you provide a great role model for them. So we just ask that you be patient with our students and provide empathy and sympathy whenever possible. In terms of homework, the students should be completing it on their own. They should just have guidance and support from you, but please don't solve it for them and don't write the answers for them. And when students aren't completing their homework, please redirect that to their teacher. And if they don't have homework, again, remind them to be reading 15 to 30 minutes, and you can definitely read some books to them or just help them track while they read or ask them questions about their reading to keep them engaged. We encourage independence and responsibility for our students and our volunteers, and we ask that you as volunteers are on time and consistent with your attendance. Since our students will be looking for you day after day or every week, they will be excited to have you come in. Thank you in advance for your kindness towards our students, staff, and other volunteers. So as a general guideline at ACLAMO, we don't yell, restrain, or use any physical punishment with our students. When their behavior is inappropriate, we redirect kindly, and we have our staff members there to support you. So whenever you are having issues, please contact a staff member. We ask our students and volunteers to clean up and pick up any areas before leaving, so please help us out with that, and please encourage the students to clean up after themselves. Remember that we serve all of our students equally, and we assign all of you as our volunteers to a classroom, depending on your interest or our needs. If you're ever in a problematic situation with a student, such as them using violence or inappropriate behavior towards you or anyone else, please report it to our staff members because we want everyone to be safe and it's not okay for that behavior to happen. We also ask that you keep students' information confidential, but if there's ever any situation that is concerning, disturbing, or anything like that, please let us know right away so that we can get that situated. And if you need support with reporting anything, please let us know. As volunteers, you are expected to complete the ACLAMO confidentiality form and the emergency contact and photography release forms. So if at any point you haven't signed those, please do so, or we will be in touch with you to get those signed. Lastly, we ask that you do not bring any gifts or candy to the students, but if you would like to do something special for them, please send us an email for us to discuss the details and for it to be approved. Here are some examples of how to be engaged as a tutor. When a student is doing their homework, we ask that you be sitting upright, looking at what they're doing, providing comments, providing support, feedback for them on how to improve or what they did well, and not having your head down, not being distracted with other things. Here's another example. If a student is reading, we ask that whenever possible, you help guide them while they read the words or turn the pages for them, or just ask them questions about the book that they're reading to making sure they're comprehending it or staying, in tune and on task. And we ask that you don't be on your cell phone or be ignoring the student. So as a tutor, we think it's great if you can be prepared to have some type of icebreaker on your first day. It can be very informal, very casual, just for you to introduce yourself to the students and get to know them a little bit. But the general expectation is that you always help our students with their homework in any way possible. Just ask them what their assignment is, make sure they're doing it right. If possible, assess their knowledge with open-ended and closed-ended questions, and that can be in regards to their homework or what they're learning in school. And always ask the students to double check their homework and actually help them double check it too in case there's things they need to change or redo or if there's something they were missing. It's also okay for there to be periods of silence and digestion time, so we don't expect you to be talking the whole time and doing everything with every student. There can be moments where they're taking everything in, working independently, but please just be there actively supporting students and making sure everything is okay. Always ask to see if students' homework is already completed, when they put it away and all of that. And if you don't understand their homework assignment or if you do not know what to do, it is totally okay. You can ask another volunteer or staff members to help. We know that not everyone is going to know everything, and sometimes the assignments aren't what we remember them to be. So if you need help, just let us know. We also have ACLAMO dollars, which are like an incentive and reward program for students doing really great activities and really great things, such as doing really well in a test, having a prearranged job in the after school program, etc. But we don't give students ACLAMO dollars for things that are expected of them, like doing the regular homework, reading as part of their homework, cleaning up after themselves, etc. And on Thursday, we have our school store open for students to redeem their ACLAMO dollars and get a little prize. So if at any point you see a student doing something really well and you want to recognize them, please let us know so that we can get them those ACLAMO dollars. So for our volunteers, we ask that you do not wear any flip-flops, no revealing clothing, no short shorts, no cut-down pants, no small t-shirts or shirts, and no hats or hoodies with the hood up, no logos with stated or implied negative or sexual messages, nothing related to drugs or alcohol, nothing explicit in terms of political or religious connotation, no smoking or drinking alcohol before, during, or after the program within the building or its surroundings, no headphones or backpacks during your tutoring shift, and if any of these rules aren't being followed, or if the volunteer is being unreliable, irresponsible, disruptive, etc., we will have to communicate with you and potentially remove you from our program. If you are a volunteer that's over the age of 18, you're required to have different clearances such as the child abuse form, criminal record form, FBI fingerprints, and ACLAMO waivers. But if you're under 18, you only need to worry about those ACLAMO waivers. So if we haven't received these from you, we will be in touch to make sure that they're all cleared before you are able to volunteer. So we want to thank you for dedicating time and having the interest in volunteering with us, because you make a big impact on our students' lives, and we wouldn't have such a successful after school program if it wasn't for your involvement. So thank you for your support, and thank you for watching this mandatory orientation.